If you look online, it seems that you need a $200 Athame and a museum quality cauldron in order to be a real witch. But that is not the truth. In this video, I'm going to show you what the essential witchcraft tools are. When I say essential, I mean that in inverted commas. They aren't essential, but they're great to have, and they can certainly enhance your rituals and your magic if you do use them. I'm going to show you what we use them for, what they are, of course, as well as how you can obtain these without having to spend a fortune. My name is Sandra. I'm the author of Crafting Your Wiccan Path. I have been on the witchcraft path now for over 35 years, and I help you awaken your inner witch so that you can practice the craft with confidence and with clarity. When I first started the craft, I didn't have the money for all of these tools. I used a secondhand store and I got creative with some of them to turn them into magical implements that I could use in my craft. It took me a very long time before I accumulated better quality versions of these tools. But the old tools that I used to use that I don't use anymore, although I still use the same cup, did have a lot of power because it was the power I gave them. Your tools are there to conduct energy, to help you project energy, but they don't actually have the energy within themselves until you start working with them. When you work with your tools every day or frequently, they start to take on the energy. They start to take on your energy and your way of working. So they do develop their own energy in the end, but only because you've been working with them and only because you've been putting your energy into them. They don't contain the energy in and of themselves until you start working with them. You're the power source, and you don't need any of these tools to be able to practice your craft successfully. Now, if you're thinking, yes, I know I have the power and I'd love to obtain these tools, but I really just don't know where to start my practice, I do have a free masterclass called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. That masterclass will show you where you're stuck and what you can do about changing your circumstances so that you can finally get started. It will tell you where to start and how to pace yourself along the way. It's called How to Start Your Witchcraft Practice. You will find it on my website, mysterywitchschool.com, and also in the description field below this video. Now, the first tool I want to show you is the wand. And this is not my first wand. My first wand was a stick that I found on the ground. I got some leather thonging. I wrapped it around the wand, and I used that as my wand for many, many, many years. I only recently obtained this wand. I think it was back in 2019, so it's a relatively new addition to my tools. The other wand was just something that I just kept with me. I didn't bother looking to buy a wand. I saw beautiful wands out there, but nothing, stood out to me at the time. And I just used what was working for me. Now, we use the wand to invoke. So when I'm invoking the god and goddess, I will use my wand. We use the wand to project energy, so that if we're wanting to point energy in a particular direction, we will use the wand to do that. I use the wand to charge talismans and also to empower a spell simply by holding the wand. Wands are generally made out of some kind of wood. Traditionally, it would have been the European trees. You can use pretty much any wood, though, that is local to you. And when you're using local woods for your wand, if you're making them yourself, they can just be that little bit more connected for you to the area in which you live. All of the different trees have different energies magically and correspond to different energies as well. So when you're choosing your wand, do take note of the wood that the wand is made from, because that will sort of tweak its energy. And when you come to use it, it will have a little bit of that tree's energy resonating with it. Now, in the tradition of witchcraft that I was initiated into, the wand is associated with the element of fire. But in some other traditions of magic, the wand is actually associated with the element of air. The second tool I want to introduce you to is the Athame. The Athame is a dagger, essentially, and we use it to cut through energy, we use it to create a circle, and we also use it to create the pentagrams at the quarters when we are setting up the circle. The Athame does not cut anything other than energy. I do use it sometimes to tear paper when I'm doing a banishing spell, because we use the Athame for banishing. And if you're a kitchen witch, you would probably use your Athame to chop up the ingredients that you would put in your cauldron or put in your cooking, because a kitchen witch basically uses kitchen utensils as part of their magic. But generally, from a traditional Wiccan perspective, the Athame itself is only used to cut through energy, to banish, and also to define our magical parameters when we're creating a circle. In the tradition that I was initiated into, the Athame is associated with the element of air. In other traditions of magic, it's associated with the element of fire. Now, you don't need to go out and buy a $200 Athame. The Athame that I first had was a simple kitchen knife, and I decorated it to turn it into an Athame. It was not double-edged like a traditional Athame is, but I used it as an Athame anyway. And I used that for about 18 months before I graduated to a letter opener that was a replica of Excalibur. And I ended up using that letter opener as my Athame for many, many, many years, until this Athame came into my life. Now, the next tool is the cup. The cup is a symbol of the goddess. It's a symbol of the womb and a symbol of water. We use the cup for libations. We can also use the cup to drink from, and even to share when we're sharing the cakes and ale around a Wiccan circle. This particular cup is the original cup that I always used. I do have a more flash looking cup, but it's actually really just there as a decoration in my lounge room. This is the one I've used right from the get-go, that I got from a secondhand store. I think I might have paid, I don't know, $2 or something for it. I completely cleansed it, and I've been using this as my cup ever since. So yeah, your cup doesn't have to cost you hundreds of dollars. It doesn't have to be an amazing silver cup. It can be a ceramic cup like this one. The fourth tool I want to show you is the Pentacle. And this Pentacle here is from a coaster set. And I've been using this pentagram for a very, very long time. It is associated with the element of earth. And we use the pentacle to place objects on that we're using for spell casting. So if we're creating a talisman, for example, we will put the talisman on the pentacle, and we would charge up the talisman while it's on the pentacle. It can also be a shielding device that can shield you against any negative energy that may be around you. Now, my very first pentacle was just a piece of paper. I drew the pentacle onto the paper and then stuck that on some cardboard. And that was the pentacle that I used for probably about 2 years before I actually started to work with this pentacle here. You can, of course, buy wonderfully carved pentacles online if you want to do that. That is fine. I think, me being a Virgo, I just kind of use what I can find, and I'm very practical with things. I don't necessarily want to spend lots and lots of money on my magical tools, and so I use what I find and what actually comes to me. The next tool I want to show you is the cauldron. This is my cauldron. It is actually a South African potjie, or it's also called a camp oven. It's something that you may find in camping stores that you can take camping, and it's actually meant to cook food in. My cauldron is the size it is because I never found the tiny little cauldrons that you find in the magic stores or the witchy shops particularly useful. You can use those if you're grinding up herbs, or you're wanting to put some incense in there and use them as an incense burner, and you can use them to put your petitions in and to set them on fire. But I always liked a decent sized cauldron. because I also use it for banishing spells and various other things. So it really just depends on what you're looking for and what you need as to what sized cauldron you get. But you don't necessarily need a larger size cauldron unless you're doing some cooking. Now, if you're a kitchen witch, you probably have your own cauldron that you use to actually cook in. So that could be any sized. But the little tiny cauldrons that you find are fine for burning herbs, using as incense, or even to use for petition magic. They are made of cast iron, and you can use any of the iron that sort of starts to go a little bit rusty for your black salt. If you don't want any rust in your cauldron, you do need to cure it with some kind of cooking oil before you use it. Now, I use my cauldron for burning petitions in. I put candles in my cauldron with some water in them for banishing spells. I also like to use the cauldron when I'm working with groups to sometimes put things in that we're using for the group. It might be that people put their petitions in there and burn the petitions in that cauldron, or it may be that the cauldron contains something that they take out and everybody takes something from the cauldron that symbolizes whatever the ritual is about. So it could be flowers in the cauldron, there could be magical stones in the cauldron. There's all sorts of ways that you can use your cauldron. The last tool that I want to show you is crystals. I have here a selenite wand. The reason I use crystals in my work is because crystals are really great at being able to add extra energy to your work. Now, selenite is a wonderful cleansing crystal. I've actually done a whole video on selenite. So if you want to watch my video on selenite, it's all about selenite. Selenite for me is about raising energy. It's about tuning into the vibration of higher consciousness and totally cleansing of any negative energy. So if you're wanting to charge up your tools or cleanse your tools, you can use selenite to do that. You can just run the selenite over your tool. So I've got my cup here, and you can just run it over and around the tool a number of times to cleanse it if you're wanting to do it that way. I also use the selenite tool for healing as well. My other crystal tool is my obsidian ball. I've also done a video on the obsidian ball as well that you can use for scrying and also for doing deep shadow work. Obsidian's wonderful for scrying. It has a reflective surface, just like a bowl of water does, and the darkness in the obsidian can really help you connect to your subconscious. Obsidian is known as the subconscious stone. Not only is it protective, but it can also take you deep into your subconscious feelings. That can be a great thing if you're doing shadow work, but it can also be a little disturbing if you're not used to doing shadow work, because obsidian will help you focus on what is keeping you stuck. So if you're feeling sad, obsidian will take you down into the sadness so that you can discover what's causing the sadness. Now, if you're feeling drawn to witchcraft, but you're unsure of where to start, unsure if you're doing it right, or worried about offending spirits or making mistakes, that uncertainty can leave you stuck, it can leave you frustrated, and it can actually stop you from tapping into your inner witch and becoming who you truly are. And it can stop you from awakening your inner witch. So inside my course, the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, I guide you step by step to build a deep, empowering witchcraft practice that connects you to the earth, to the divine, and to who you truly are, a powerful witch, so that you can step into your authentic self and feel the confidence, feel the clarity, and feel the ease of practicing witchcraft and living your purpose. There's a link in the description field below this video for how you can join up to the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy, and you can also find it on my website, mysterywitchschool.com. If you liked the video, hit the like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe. I will see you on the next one. Blessed be.